Hey, it's Jay, and you're watching 7 Star Mountain. Today we're reviewing the Eberlestock Fade Tactical Waist Pack. Hi, Boog. Thanks for being in the shot. Let's go inside and check it out.
Say hi, Samson. Say hi, Delilah. No, I'm gonna attack the hose. Get it! Get it! Oh, what's that bug? Kitty ADHD!
We got the new Eberlestock Fade Waist Pack in today. Because I can't help but buy every stupid waist pack when they come out. Alright, so this one has a front pouch here. Does not go all the way open. Opens about that far. Get rid of that. So you've got a zipper pocket here. You've got 3 see-through pockets up here. It does come with this, I believe this is the magazine holder. It does not come with this. I stuck this in here. Oh my God, getting that out. This is the Fade Admin Pouch Small. Has 2 small magazine holders, a pen holder. These are all stretchy. And then you've got a zipper pouch in the top. That does Velcro in there nicely. Probably gonna keep that in there. You've got your main compartment here. Oh, actually, I think this is a tourniquet holder, and this is supposed to hold your gun. I can't remember. I'm not going to use either one of those for either one of those things, but... And this is interesting. So your strap is on the back here. And then you've got another zipper pouch in the back. And then the extra strap is like coiled in the back here. And it's actually attached in with this orange part. And I believe you just pull the strap that you need out of the bag here. So however long you need your strap to be, you can adjust that by pulling that out. You can adjust this length by going through here. That's pretty interesting. Obviously, I will have to mess with that. For a size comparison, here is the new Fade. Here is the Helicon Tex Rat Pack. Here's the Eberlestock Bando XL. Here's the Eberlestock Bando. What can you fit in here? Well, here's the P365, and I'm sure all of its variants fit. Here is the Smith & Wesson M&P 5.7. This actually does fit. I actually tried closing this, and it does close up and open. Doesn't snag. Obviously, I'm going to need to make a holster where the flap is up here, because otherwise it's not going to fit in there with the holster. But you could do that. Same thing with the Mark 25. It's not ideal, but it definitely fits. You just need a special holster for it. The Not a Glock 20 is just, I have a threaded barrel, and with the flashlight and the threaded barrel, it doesn't want to zip up fully around there. And when you do zip it, it gets caught when you're trying to unzip it. So that's probably too big. Just for size reference, I am 6'3", 225. These always look so much bigger online than I get them, and they seem kind of small. Do you know what the tourniquet holder holds well? It holds a spare 5.7 magazine really well. The admin pouch does not. You can stuff one in here, but then it kind of starts pushing over into this slot, and there's no way you would get 2 of them in here. And I feel like at some point you're gonna rip this stuffing a 5.7 magazine in there. So it's a little small for 5.7 magazines. Here's an 18 round P226 9mm magazine though. I need two hands to do this. Yeah, regular magazines fit in there just fine. I would bet even this Glock 10mm magazine is a 15 rounder. It's a little tight. It's a little tight. It stretches in there, and you could probably definitely get two in there. It's a little tight. But you are talking now, you're a much bigger round than the 9mm, but the 9mm definitely fits in there well. I feel like that was probably designed with 9mm magazines in mind, like most things. All right, let's start. I've been wearing this bag now for, gosh, a couple months at least. So let's start about the thing that I harp on the most in all of my reviews, the belt. So typically the thing that ruins any bag for me is that these belts self-adjust on you. So you'll be wearing this somewhere and you'll notice the bag is riding lower and lower until it's wanting to fall around your ankles and trip you while you're walking, or it starts sloshing all over, or knocks into things. It's very, very irritating. It is the thing that a lot of manufacturers just do not get right, and you have to fix on your own. So, and that includes Eberlestock's other bags, by the way, which I've had to fix both on the Bando and the Bando XL. I am happy to report, after months of wearing this thing, and you can see it's getting a little beat up, there has not ever been an issue of this belt adjusting itself. If you make it tight, it stays tight. It stays too tight sometimes, and you might have to loosen it. It is fantastic. It doesn't self-adjust at all. It doesn't get loose when you're moving around. And in fact, this seatbelt kind of material that they have used on this in lieu of what they were using on the Bando bags, it's a little shiny, but man, this tends to stay in place over my clothes where I put the bag. It might shift a little side to side, but I don't even really need to, unless I'm really going out there and doing really heavy work, where I'm going to be shifting around and moving around quite a bit. I don't even need to tie this into my regular belt to keep the bag in the position it's in. If I'm just walking around, I just went on vacation to Myrtle Beach and came back, and I walked around all over doing all sorts of shopping and touristy things with my wife and my mother-in-law, and this bag just stayed put the entire time without even being tied into my belt. It's fantastic. So well done on this belt, Eberlestock. That is fantastic. Now I do have a little gripe, because it wouldn't be one of my reviews without a little bitching about something. This buckle, these are just not my favorite. For some reason, sometimes it's just really hard to get this in here. These will bend up a little bit and it just doesn't, like, you know, most of the time it's not too bad. I just prefer the other buckle style, but it's whatever. It's not a deal breaker. It's not horrible. It's just, I have this on a couple of other bags and it's not my favorite kind of buckle. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not, I mean, I could probably shatter this before I could get it to come apart by tugging on it. And I'm not a small nor weak person, so well done there. I like there's a little leather tag here that says Eberlestock. It's just a cool little detail. So yeah, the only other complaint I have is that this tends to just smoosh a little here, and it looks a little weird, and sometimes before I put it on, I just kind of straighten that out a little bit. But that's, I mean, who cares really? Just pointing it out. So yeah, that's the Fade Flex. Check that out. That's that belt system in here. Very unique. It's got its own little pouch. I did adjust this after I got it to where I wanted it for my waist. I have a kind of a bigger waist, So I adjusted that. I like that there is orange in here, but it's hidden. This just keeps everything kind of together. I think I had this looped through here at one point. I stuck some stuff in here on vacation and made a mess. I just kind of double that back to keep it a little organized. But you've got your main adjuster is over here. And this, boy, the way this is in here, this just does not allow it to adjust on its own. It is so nice. I cannot overstate enough how much I love the fact that this bag does not get loose on me. Such a welcome change from pretty much every other bag. And you do have space in here. This kind of crowds the pouch a little bit, and it's just loose in there. And when you're wearing it, it's going to be kind of pulled up against the back there, but you can stick stuff in here. I did stick stuff in here to store on vacation. So just extra storage space as well. Very nice. I like that. My other major complaint, I don't know if it's major, but this, you know, it's kind of, once you start putting stuff in here, there's nothing to hold the shape together. And it really, I mean, this is what it looks like on your waist. It's going to be lumpy and misshapen unless you put something in there to give it some sort of shape. And the back, where your concealed carry hides, usually tends to ride up a little higher than the front. So you get kind of this effect with the back up there a little bit. So unless you're, I mean, I don't care, but if you want it to look more uniform, you're probably gonna have to put a stiffener in the very front of some kind, just in the zipper pouch in there. So let's deconstruct how I've been using it. Obviously, we'll get to the pull tab here. Now I do kind of miss the quick action tab here where you just, you know, you rip this whole thing down and it just clamshells open. But this is actually not bad. I don't mind it. So I thought I would hate this when it first came in, but it's not bad. And these also, one of the things that usually bothers the crap out of me is these things opening on their own, which happens with a lot of bags. And one of the bags that I've been testing dumped my carry out in the field. And I had to go spend an hour looking for it because I hadn't realized my bag had just flapped open. So this is nice. You just yank this. So there we've got the concealed carry. Again, it's my favorite one, my 365. Again, I don't like really anything else in the main pouch except for my firearm. So I kind of just leave it bare. You could, this does have loop. I don't really see too much wear on there. Can't tell if it's any fuzzier than it was or not, but it still looks pretty new to me, despite the beating I've put this thing through over the past few months. I did make this holster recently for this 365 because we've put the TLR7 sub on here. Now I kind of want to change this out because they've got the new TLR7 HLX7 sub, which is more lumens. And I think I want to put this on my backup, not a Glock 26, but yeah, it needed a different holster from the one I had before. So I've got all my holster making stuff out in the garage, just threw together this holster, threw some industrial Velcro on the back, and that's been hanging out in here for a couple months, working fantastic. We'll jam this back in here. The other thing about this pouch is if you, and I talk about this in a bunch of my other videos with these bags, but if you put this too far into the bottom of the bag, so if you kind of jam your holster into this bottom, something like this, it is, and I think I can just show you here because it'll do it immediately. It's going to do that. You're gonna have a massive step up from the front of the bag onto the back because it's just pushing down into the bottom there and just kind of misshaping the whole thing. So you got to kind of be a little aware of how you're putting this in here, just so that it's not going below the loop section here, because if it does, it really kind of misshapes the bag. And I always put that over here, because when you want to get this off, if you're right-handed like me, you're going to be reaching over here and you're going to be yanking this, and then you're going to come in here to draw. And I like to keep these zippers over here so that you're unzipping this way and you're not accidentally exposing your concealed carry by grabbing the wrong zipper. This again, while I would like to have another front pouch on here, it's not a huge mark against it. I like to keep everything hidden if I can. If I just had a small pouch on the front, I could keep my wallet in so that I don't ever have to access any of the rest of the bag out in public while I'm in line or whatever. But it is what it is. I've basically been doing this. I'll unzip part of the bag to pay, and my wallet is right here. And so I'll just pull this out. But I try to hide the fact that not only is my wallet in there, that there's a couple firearm magazines and some other stuff too. So here is my wallet. I'm not going to turn around. My ID's in there. This is the Travax wallet I've had, I don't even know how long now. This thing is pretty awesome. It's a little heavy, but keeps all your cards in there. Don't have to carry a big bulky wallet with you. Let's see, I got a backup pair of hearing protection in here. It's always nice to have hearing protection. In the front little zipper pouch, I've got what are these called? The Pebble Bees. Oh, there it is. This is just a tracker to track things if you lose them. So I have ADHD, I tend to misplace things. So I put this in here so I can find this bag if I put it down somewhere unexpected and can't find it 10 minutes later. But also this would be great if you're going on a trip or whatever. Get a little finder if it gets lost. Got a little camping towel in here. I can't tell you how often I use these. I have probably over a dozen different camping towels of different sizes because I use them so often. These are fantastic for when you go somewhere and they don't have any freaking paper towels or anything. And I don't right now have anything in this middle pouch, but if I needed to put something in there, I could. I've just kind of stuck my belt keepers in here, wadded up. I actually should probably put those in that middle pouch. That's probably a good use for that. These are what I use if I am doing something strenuous, bouncing around, running, hiking up the side of my mountain to grab one of my cows or something. I will put these around the strap for the bag and around my belt just to keep it in place. A little extra security. So that's all for that front section. On the back section here, again, you got this little loop section here. This is the Eberlestock admin pouch. This is the small one. So this I bought with the bag. It is a separate purchase. It doesn't come with the bag, but I did buy one to put it in here to test it out, and I kind of like it. So I think I'm just going to keep it in here. I've got my stylus for my phone. I've got my Swiss Army knife. Sometimes I have a multi-tool in here. Sometimes when I go on vacation, I have a couple of these Swiss Army knives. Again, ADHD, I've lost a bunch of these and then found them years later, so I have spares. But this is just always a nice tool to have. And we've got a spare magazine, 12 rounds for the 365. And right now, on the inside of this admin pouch, all I've got is my inhaler. Right? Yeah, there's nothing else in there. And then the one other thing that I have in here is I've got the hook and loop magazine holder that did come with the bag. And that is holding the 15 round magazine for the 365. That's it. That's all that's in there right now. Yeah, that's it. That is the Eberlestock Fade. And again, the only gripe with the front here, I wish that they had put some sort of stiffener just to keep the shape in the front here. And I may do that. I may just find I don't know, like a stiff piece of material to stick in there just to give it a little shape so that it's not, because, you know, I have stuff in here and it kind of does this, and I'd rather it just had a little more of a pleasing shape while you're wearing it, but it's not a big deal. So far, I think this is one of my favorites. I don't see myself not wearing this one for a while unless something super, super good comes out. This is probably going to be my EDC from now forward. Like I said, I've been testing this basically all summer 2025. I've worn this every day, and boy, I like this a lot. It works really good. I have not cleaned this. I have not washed this down or anything. It's gotten lanolin from my sheep on it. It's gotten chewed on by the ducks, the geese, the sheep. One of my cows licked it. And you can't see any of that on here. And I have not cleaned it at all. Other than, you know, once in a while I'll brush it off when I take it off. But I haven't taken a wet wipe or anything to it, and it still looks fantastic. The material they use for this is just very nice. For all the people that yell at me because I like having my multicam ones, I would like if they would make this in camouflage patterns, and I would probably wear that. And I live in East Tennessee, so no one here cares. But if you do like just a solid color, that's what they have now. They've got this in black. You can have any color you want as long as it's olive drab or black. That's it. I definitely recommend this. So far, it's in my top 5. I would say right now it's my favorite of all time. We'll see. Only time will tell, but yeah, I really like this. Really recommend it. It's a tad expensive. It is Eberlestock, but worth every penny. There you go, guys. Once again, my name is Jay. This is 7 Star Mountain, doing another review of a tactical waist pack for you guys. I'll see you here next time.